Well, here we go. This is the reason or culmination of telling stories, since these types of instances repeat themselves in some form, and they tend to reoccur more often than one would expect, as the stories never really end, which I certainly enjoy. So on the night of Thursday, January 29th, my son is in his room, my wife is in the bedroom, and I'm in the living room. And suddenly my son yells out quite loudly that someone is in his car in our driveway. So I react by grabbing a weapon. Don't get me wrong. This was an old baseball bat, which I know is not a very good thing to have, as it can get you into more trouble than you expect. My son follows with something in his hand, which I think was his phone. And my wife yells, "Who the hell would want to steal that piece of shit from 23 years old?" So I arrive at the car first. I don't see anyone in the car, but the amount of outdoor lights, plus the street lights and neighbors' homes with several outdoor lights, as we live on a cul-de-sac, also made it difficult to see inside the car. We weren't quite through, as it seemed that we were wrong and that there was a rental truck only 20 yards away, and we were wondering what that was about, especially at around 9 o'clock at night on a very cold night. He was alone in the truck and looking at his phone, and he rolled his window down and said that he was trying to find a house he was searching for, and it wasn't on our street, and he quietly left. This all took about maybe less than 3 minutes. And we were grateful that it didn't turn into a disaster. And I hate to say, but it is invigorating, since most of life can get quite predictable and boring, and the stories never end. I saw a video recently of Dave Chappelle on the Conan O'Brien show from several years ago, and he was at it again. He was on a history tour in Williamsburg, Pennsylvania, and they had black dudes preserved since 1700. Well, he left the group and spoke with one of the black guys, and he asked him how he was doing, and the black dude said, "Please help me." There was a tale in Facebook about getting an Italian woman upset, and it claimed that when you upset an Italian woman, you will now fall into her strength and passion, and she will not forget what occurred, and you will now collapse into the vortex of future moments that will surely come down on you. Now, my wife is Hispanic, and I put them in the same boat, so I'm well aware of all this. Nothing new. I'd like to know how much of the mail that we receive gets dumped into the garbage pail. I'd go with about 75 to 80%. I mean, what a waste of time and money, but that's the way this country rolls. Everyone wants us on their side. And a saying from Jean-Paul Sartre: every word has consequences, every silence too. And I recall the Tears for Fears song, "Everybody Wants to Rule the World." And all I can say is, I don't. No way. I don't think anyone wants to do that. You'd have to be out of your mind, unless, of course, you think you'd do it, but you'd be a fool, of course. And I'll make this quick. I'm not very happy with Trump being the president now, but nice job. He's only beginning to tear our system apart brick by brick. I don't know what people see in him. He's an obvious, insecure, paranoid psychopath who parades around like he's a tough guy, and he ain't shit. And I advise his voters to see how he corresponds with the media. He's an absolute lying, ignoramus coward who knows nothing about the real world. Everything was handed to him, and I'm out with that. Being a music fanatic, I ran into the song The Second Arrangement on YouTube, originally a Steely Dan song that got lost in the insanity of creating the Gaucho album back in 1979, 1980, since they were both burnt out, and they were well known for their perfection and extremely high standards. And they only used the top session musicians in LA and New York, and some of them walked out since the sessions would go on for hours and hours. Well, anyway, the song is available on YouTube, and for your music lovers and Steely Dan fans, the best session players in the music industry did not want this song to never show up again. So they all got together and produced a superb rendition. And if you love music, you'll love this song. Whenever I'm down, I load this song up and let it rip. Enjoy, and in the name of the song again is The Second Arrangement. And now I'm going to present some classic Irish quotes, which I happen to admire, both the quotes and the Irish. I only drink on two occasions, when I'm thirsty and when I'm not. Here's to a long life and a merry one, a quick death and an easy one, a pretty girl and an honest one, a cold pint and another one. Alcohol may be man's worst enemy, but the Bible says to love your enemy. A man takes a drink, the drink takes a drink, the drink takes the man. May the roof above us never fall in, and may we friends gathered below never fall out. In heaven there is no beer. That's why we drink it here. The problem with some people is that when they aren't drunk, they're sober. Here's to staying positive and testing negative. When we drink, we get drunk. When we get drunk, we fall asleep. When we fall asleep, we commit no sin. When we commit no sin, we go to heaven. So let's all get drunk and go to heaven. I would rather have a bottle in front of me than a frontal lobotomy. May the Lord keep you in his hand and never close his fist too tight. Here's to being single, drinking double, and seeing triple. May misfortune follow you the rest of your life and never catch out. A real friend is one who walks in when the rest of the world walks out. Love is like a bottle of gin, but a bottle of gin is not like love. Good friends are like four-leaf clovers, hard to find and lucky to have. In wine there is wisdom, in beer there is freedom, in water there is bacteria. I only drink to make other people more interesting, and here's to the nights we'll remember with the friends we'll never forget. May you have love that never ends, lots of money and lots of friends. And here's to the good times. Let's drink to them. They're better than the bad times. I'm a firm believer in the people. If given the truth, they can be depended upon to meet any national crisis. And their great point is to bring them real facts, land beer if it was raining soup. And lastly, the best question is one that can't be answered, yet most questions are not answerable, at least to certain degrees, since if 10 people answer the question, I would guess that all of them would provide a different response. And personally, I don't really know how to answer most questions, and that's it. I'm out.